Triple Flix. Drop me up, drop me up.
Woo! ChaddyBobby1130. Back with another movie review, and I figure since it's one of my favorite movies of all time, I figure why not do a movie review of it. I've never reviewed it before. I speak the praises of Teen Wolf for years, and when it got announced that it was going to be a Scream Factory edition, I was just so hyped. Because it's one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's one of my favorite movies ever. As you can see there, let's see. There's the little shrine. Got the Scott Howard jersey, Teen Wolf poster from Scream Factory, and then like another random one in the middle there. But this movie is just, it brings back so much nostalgia for me because I watched it as a kid growing up. I used to go to my grandparents, my dad's parents. They're both passed away now, but when I was a kid, I used to go over there, you know, once a month or every other weekend. You know, I'd go to his parents one weekend and then my mom's parents one weekend. My dad's parents had a huge VHS collection. And it was all stuff they recorded from HBO Cinemax or whatever. And it was those 6-hour tapes, and they had 3 movies on each tape, and they had them listed, what it was, the year it came out and everything. They were like legit with it. And I remember one night I found this movie when I was a kid. I mean, I couldn't have been 7, 8 years old. And I want to say it was on, I don't remember what other movies was on the tape, but I came across it and started watching it, and I just thought it was cool. So then I asked to borrow the tape, and then I watched this movie countless times. I just love everything about it. If you don't know what Teen Wolf is, it's a ridiculous movie. 1985, it starred Michael J. Fox. It is basically about Michael J. Fox's character, Scott Howard. He's in high school, he plays basketball, his team is really, really terrible. He's just kind of like he's got the hots for this, he's got the hots on this one chick that's like the, you know, one real popular chick at school. She don't want nothing to do with him. He's got a best friend named Boof, who is clearly the better selection to me. But they're like best friends. She likes him, but he's got her friend zone because he's so focused on this other chick. And then one day, he just finds out that he's a fucking werewolf. I mean, he starts acting like things are getting weird. He starts seeing like hair sprout up on his chest. His hands start getting all hairy. And then one night he just flipped out and turns into a werewolf, which his dad knew about. And then basically the movie is about him being the werewolf. And when he's the werewolf, the team that he's on, I mean, he's an awesome basketball player. It's ridiculous, okay? But I absolutely love this movie. It's hilarious. All the characters in it are great. You got Scott Howard by Michael J. Fox. You got Jerry Levine, who plays Styles, one of his friends at school. You got Susan City, who plays Booth, who's so hot. James Hampton plays his pops. His pops is great in the movie. And it's just a great movie, man. I love the soundtrack is great. Some of the score in it's creepy. It's got really cool effects. It's just a great 80s cheese fest, you know what I mean? The crazy thing is that Michael J. Fox, when he shot this, here's that's the Scream Factory edition. If y'all don't have this movie, what are you doing with your life? Part 2 is dog shit. Don't fuck with Part 2. Part 1 is where it's at. But it's an amazing movie, man, to me. And a lot of it's nostalgia, but it's one of those things, too. There's movies that I've seen that I've been nostalgic about, and then I watched them, and they didn't hold up. But this movie, I mean, I watch it 7, 8 times a year, you know, and the greatest thing about this is that it got this Scream Factory treatment, and it only has one special feature on it. It's got a 2K scan of the movie, which is a really good scan of it, but it's got like an hour and 50-minute documentary that shows it talks to everybody that has to do with the movie except for Michael J. Fox. But it's the most comprehensive documentary I've seen Scream Factory do, and it's just so awesome that they did it with my favorite movie, you know, one of them. It's about the development, the making, and the legacy of the film. Interviews with the writer Jeff Loeb and Matthew Wiseman, co-stars Susan Ursitti, which is Booth, Jerry Levine, which is Styles, Matt Adler, which is Lewis, who is another friend of theirs, James Mackerel. You get producers Mark Levinson and Scott Rosenfeld, production designer Chester Kaczynski, casting director Paul Ventura, editor Lois Freeman, Wolf makeup artist Jeff Dawn, and basketball doubler Jeff Glosser, who plays, you know, his stunt double when he starts balling out of control. But I just love it, man. Like, it's just something, you know, we've all got movies that we loved from when we were a kid, and then they just stick with us as we get older. And Teen Wolf is definitely one of those movies. If you're a fan of 80s comedy, if you're a fan of there's creepy parts to it too, even though it's a comedy movie. If you haven't seen this and I don't know, if you're on the fence about seeing it, you're gonna get the most biased opinion ever from me, because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. For an 80s cheese fest, I couldn't recommend a better one than Teen Wolf, honestly. I look forward to, they're coming out with some figures, some Scott Howard figures that look kind of like the G.I. Joe style figures. Shout out to Scott Merkel. I know he hit me up about it on Facebook. So as soon as they come out, I'll be getting those as well. But as far as like I said, the special features on this disc, it's just that one, but it's such an amazing documentary for fans of Teen Wolf that I didn't need anything else. I didn't need a commentary or anything like that. This documentary was perfect. You also get the original theatrical trailer with it as well. If this is going on like a 5-star scale, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 because it's one of my favorite movies. But if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you don't have the Scream Factory, get the Scream Factory edition of it to me, because that documentary is just awesome. But again, this is coming from somebody that has a fucking Teen Wolf shrine on his wall. So be that as it may. But again, soundtrack's great. The acting's great. You know, it's cool, like acting, you know, like for what it is for an 80s movie. The sports scene at the end is so epic with the Win in the End song, which is awesome. You get, I don't know, like the transformation scene's creepy. I don't know, I just had fun with it, man. And of course, I don't even think Michael J. Fox likes to talk about Teen Wolf. But when they said in the documentary was that he actually filmed this one first, before Back to the Future came out. They said he was going back and forth and filming both movies at the same time, which is pretty crazy to think about, to star in both of those movies. And yeah, I mean, you get Jay Tarsis as Bobby Finstock, the coach, who's just out of it. He's just an out of it person. The artwork on here is awesome. Paul Shipper did it, looks like. Yeah, I mean, it's rated PG. But in the 80s, PG it's more like PG-13 now. But again, it's from 1985. 91 minutes. It's an easy watch. I'm about to watch it again. I've seen it. I mean, it's one of those movies that I know every word. I know every line. And it doesn't get old to me. So I just wanted to review this because I fucking love the movie so much. And I'm so glad to be able to talk about it in extent. And if you haven't purchased it yet, do so. You can get the Scream Factory for $15, $20, and it's absolutely worth it. So, Triple Flix Mafia, ChaddyBobby1130. I had to review one of my favorites, man. So, Teen Wolf, 5 out of 5 from your boy. Y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna show you something, just like we did on the last review. Right after this, you're going to see the trailer to Teen Wolf. So you don't have to let me talk about it. You let the trailer speak for itself, okay? Woo!
For Michael J. Fox, life hasn't been easy.
Hello.
Hi. I'm going through changes.
His voice is changing.
Give me a keg of beer.
Is there anything wrong with me?
He's got hair on his chest. He's stopped being a boy.
What do you think about to get worked up?
At last, he's become
Scott? Scott Howard? This is your father speaking. Now open this door right this minute.
a wolf.
An explanation is probably long overdue.
Dad, an explanation? Look at me. Look at you.
He's always wanted to be something special, but he never expected this.
Then everybody be so
Teen Wolf. He's got style.
There's something different about you. Did you change your hair?
He's got class.
wolf person. Wolf.
He's got hair all over his body.
Wolves aren't supposed to be shy.
He's a wolf in teens clothing. And tonight is his night to howl. Teen Wolf, a new comedy with Michael J. Fox, star of Back to the Future.